The year is 1963, 56 years after the Imperial County was founded under the Great Reclamation Project. Settlers have been pouring into the desert at an incredible rate due to the wonderful possibilities of agriculture. With farmers building on the outskirts of towns and away from the cities, a need of services was becoming more and more obvious. In order to provide services to these unincorporated areas of the Imperial County, contracts have been made with the local city fire departments to provide service. Some of these contracts included a fire engine and its maintenance. At the same time, county was in the need of a civil defense program coordinator. The solution was to create a dual position, a county civil defense coordinator and a county fire marshal. A certain unease lingered over the decision, and now a newly appointed civil defense fire marshal, Rudy Medina, had to put out his first fires.
The biggest is not to get discouraged because a lot of people, a lot of departments, cities, city managers that didn't like it, and I had to overcome all that.
Medina had to convince other city officials of the advantages of the combined post by assuring them that his duties as a fire marshal were secondary to his civil defense work and limited to training volunteer fire departments and making sure equipment used by contracting agencies were in proper working condition.
You see, my face of it was working without a precedence. It's very hard because it's very easy to somebody say, well, that thing has been around. We haven't had a truck for 100 years. So we got along good. Why do we need one now? That sort of mentality was thrown at me constant.
At this point, a seed had been planted, a seed like no other. The Imperial County Fire Department has sprouted its roots into the sandy clay dirt of Imperial County. Slowly, under the sunny warm days of the valley sun, a department started to recognize the needs at hand, and its leader, Chief Medina, took action.
As the county grew, started having haystack fires, we started having mill fires, we started having package shed fires, and we had to. It was pretty obvious. The need of a professional firefighting was desperately needed.
After the dust had settled, it was time to grow. With an attitude of no job is impossible, Chief Medina and his 3 mechanics did the best they could with what they had. And it was not until 10 years later that he was given the opportunity to expand.
I put in a grant for the first Oshkosh, we got it. Then I put a grant for the station to house the Oshkosh, and it did it. Another thing, we needed a shop in a desperate way, but the shop was not part of what they recognized as a necessity, and so that we had to do a lot of tinkering to get it, but we got it exactly without wavering. We needed. I asked the men they were work, what do you need? Well, we need a pit. We need this. We need that. That's exactly the way it went.
The opportunity was at the door. It was up to the current department and Chief Medina to bring it together. The question was, how?
Training, dedication, a lot of it. You had to love it. You had to. I could see it, but it's like trying to put Humpty Dumpty. The pieces are all over. Too many of them. Which piece do you pick up first? When you have a goal to put the whole egg back into the form it was.
But putting together the whole egg meant that he had to convince not only the skeptics, but also his own men.
Yeah, first was the morale of the personnel was mainly caused by them not even having a place to sit, dirt floors and so forth. They couldn't be in the shop while they were for fear of injury. So they had to be outside all day long during their entire shift. So that cost me a lot of morale and problem.
In order to overcome this, Chief Medina had to lead by example. Once he accomplished this, it was now a matter of letting the egg grow. The year is now 1983. Chief Benavides is the third appointed department head, a seasoned retired chief with Naval Air Facility. The department had grown to 9 firefighters, 1 captain, and 1 mechanic, an assistant office emergency coordinator, and 2 secretaries. The department was still in a support stage, with 12 contracts throughout the county. But that was not our destiny. We were missing something.
In 1984, we went into the fire protection contractor agreement with the city of Imperial to do medical calls and first responders to fires. And at the same time, we started doing first responders throughout the county.
This was an opportunity to transition from a supporting agency that would respond with water tenders to assist other contracting agencies to a first out 911 class 1 department.
I kind of made a little personal study and knew that we could do better than what some of those agencies were doing for us. And it was a political deal, and I got in hot water, but I recommended that we close or rather we cancel the contracts with the city of El Centro, with the city of Calexico, and with Heber Public Utility District. And they would take that money and those engines, and we would take over the station in Heber. The board of supervisors, after seeing what I had, and got a consultant to kind of take a look what I was proposing, they approved it. So we went ahead and canceled those 3 contracts, took over the Heber station, named it Imperial County Station number 2. We put the engine from Calexico and El Centro in Heber. The other one, we brought it back to the station, and we remained with the tankers in the Imperial County station.
It wasn't easy, but it was a task that had to be done. The challenge was to learn and adapt as fast as possible. The department head had set the new course, and according to the department's tradition of no task impossible, there was no turning back.
I am very, very, very proud, really, because like I said, when I started there with 9 firefighters, no shift supervisors. Like I said, I did go for the board of supervisors from time to time, and I asked first for an assistant chief to make the senior firefighters in each shift, which is only 3, to make them a lieutenant and make them shift supervisors, so they could supervise the firefighters and also the volunteers. So we started that, and they got that. So later on, when we opened up Station 2, I requested a training officer and also a fire inspector, because we were getting overwhelmed with the inspections, with the plan department meetings and all. We just didn't know what to do. I went to board supervisors, and they approved that and gave me a training officer and also an inspector.
Just as everything has a beginning and an end, Chief Benavides had reached the time to pass the torch. He had accomplished a lot in his time with us, from opening a new station to securing key positions and personnel that would later play a key role in our department's growth.
It was hard. It wasn't easy, because like I said, after 40 years of service, and I could see the county. The county was in the uprise. I wanted to be part of that.
The year is 1995. Chief Benavides has pushed the department into the next generation of its growth. Taking the driver's seat this time is the 4th appointed fire chief, Joe Busso. Being one of the original 20 CETA project members that Chief Rudy Medina hired, Chief Busso had an opportunity to serve as an interim fire chief. This is right after Chief Twethman left the department and while Chief Benavides was appointed.
Probably the one biggest challenge was funding. Because I've been with the department for quite some time, I have worked with the fire chiefs before. We had already did some assessments. We knew what direction we wanted to take the department. It wasn't as hard for me because I've been involved in the whole process. But when it came my turn to be in charge of that department, funding was probably the biggest challenge that I had.
Chief Busso had his goals embedded in him so deep inside from Chief Medina's generation that it was easy to set a course for the department.
And it goes back to the Medina times when Medina had discussed that 3-station concept. We knew that for us to have a better department, be able to provide a better service to the community, it would be more of a standardized or equal level of service for everybody. And to achieve that, it would have to be county-run stations. Not the contracts. I mean, I do appreciate what volunteers do. I do appreciate other firemen or other fire departments. But for us, it was all about being equal, being able to standardize the whole process, the whole operation, being able to respond with county personnel, be able to handle the fires with county personnel, and that was our main goal.
Chief Busso had the opportunity to grow with the department from his original roots of a supporting agency and see the first fruit of that seed that was planted 32 years ago before his lead role.
See, we knew that we were firefighters. We just had to let other people know that we existed. So it was difficult for us to go out there and really provide a service when people didn't even know we were around. But we did have pride. We were proud of ourselves. We were proud of being able to do what we did with the really not a whole lot of monies to do it with. And to me, that probably one of the biggest things that we were able to accomplish is to be able to provide services that ordinarily we weren't able to, other departments wouldn't be able to do because the money wasn't there. We just took it upon ourselves to make sure that we provided that additional service to the community so that we can, like I said, at least ourselves be happy that we're doing something for our community.
Before Chief Busso left, a new building had erected. Imperial County Fire Department Station 2, located at 1078 Dogwood, had opened its doors to a new era. It had been a long journey from Chief Busso, from sitting outside in the hot summer days as a mechanic firefighter, to this day. This was a brand new building with state-of-the-art technology that would serve both as the Chief's office and the OES Center. In 2004, after the retirement of Chief Busso, the board appointed Chief Nippens as the new department head. Chief Fred Nippens had come on board the department as the first training officer in 1991. By the time that he became assistant chief in 1995, he had standardized the county fire academy. This is a key feature to this valley and the answer to all the previous chiefs' dreams of having one standard way of doing things. The academy had such a success that it would produce more key figures not only to Imperial County Fire Department, but to other local agencies as well. In 2004, Chief Nippens took office, and with a well-established fire department, he went to work.
Well, the department was in pretty good shape, actually. They just opened the new Station 2 in Heber, and just before I became the chief. We needed some new equipment. Some of our older equipment needed to be replaced. We found funding to do that. A lot of it was through grants, some through special projects within the county. We were able to buy a water tender, a couple new engines, and one of my proudest purchases is this ladder truck behind me.
Chief Nippens was a huge piece of that Humpty Dumpty that Chief Medina had started to put together a long time ago. He raised the bar so high that he successfully changed the department's image.
The department wasn't thought of throughout the valley as a Class 1 department, okay, and we needed to change that. And I think one of the first things that we did is actually Chief Benavides did, is to hire an actual training officer to get everybody trained up to the level that they should be, you know, to coincide with the state standards as far as what a firefighter 1, firefighter 2, and so on. I think that helped once we got the training going, and the other departments saw that we were actually bringing the training level up, and they thought more of calling on us without having any reservations, I guess, because of our training was, I think, the most important thing.
One of Chief Nippen's biggest success was the Fire Academy. He successfully transferred the Fire Academy to Imperial Valley College. In doing so, it raised the bar of education. By receiving college credits on top of the state certificates, our education grew.
Yeah, we started the fire Academy here. It was just for our own firefighters and reserves, but it grew. We started having other departments send in their volunteers and their reserves for training in the Fire Academy, and it kept growing to the point where it was getting kind of expensive to put on by ourselves, but just for department expenses. So I approached the college, IVC, Imperial Valley College, and made a proposal to them to go in partnership and combine the Fire Academy with the college, and where they would get college credits for the course also. And it would help, the college would pay for the instructors, and the fire department, Imperial County Fire, would provide the facilities and the equipment to do the training.
In 2008, Chief Fred Nippens closed his chapter with the Imperial County Fire Department. But this book doesn't end there. Our current chapter starts with the appointing of Chief Tony Rojodes as the new and current department head. Chief Rojodes came on board as a reserve firefighter in 1992 under Chief Benavides and has since come a long way.
When I came as a fire chief, I'd been through a lot of positions within the department already, all the way from the bottom as a reserve fireman, working my way up through the ranks. There's always been challenges in the department, but I wouldn't call them challenges, I'd call them maybe more hurdles. I think a challenge is really what you make of it. It's not always a bad thing. It helps people grow. And I think that's something that I really tried to focus on, as taking a challenge and making it a growth event for other people within the agency. And that was my biggest focus, really, right off the bat, is getting staff within the agency to step up and take the challenges with me.
Chief Rojodes has pushed the department into areas that some never thought possible, using an algorithm that can move anything and everyone in a very positive way.
And I've said this in a lot of staff meetings, and people know that this is a word I use all the time, but efficiency. Were we maximizing efficiency? That was a big focus. And I went to all the leaders of this department and said, let's be efficient in everything we do. It doesn't matter on the budget. It doesn't matter if the budget's a little bit lower, a little bit higher this year. You still do the best job you can with the tools that you have. And I say that based on efficiency. Let's maximize everything we do.
5 years after he took the lead role, Chief Rojodes has turned the department's forward moving into overdrive.
It's just about coordination of what needs to be done with the right key personnel, but keeping everybody involved so no one becomes stagnant within the agency. You never want to become stagnant. You want to. It's like a river that you want to keep it flowing. Continuity, just keep the motivation going. Keep just positive movement.
When asked about the potential of this department, we get a glimpse into his mindset.
Does the department have great potential? Is not the right term. This department is potential. This department is, and its personnel, I'm very proud of. And I'll tell some people that on a regular basis, that I'm very proud of the personnel of this agency. I think we can step up to a lot of challenges, and I think that's evident over the last 50 years. 50 years ago, the county stepped up and took a huge challenge. And 50 years is nothing. Most of the agencies around here have been in existence for 100 years. So what we've done in 50 years is astronomical. And the personnel that are supporting My vision of what needs to occur right now, you know, I'm thankful for that. And if I don't say it enough, I'll say it here for this video. I thank the department for everything they do for us on a regular basis. Not for me, but for the department as a whole. For the county as a whole and all the citizens that we truly serve. And they should be proud. They should be proud of the duties that they do every day.
Now we have reached the top of the branch of the small seed that was planted 50 years ago. This plant has grown throughout the years, molding itself with time and filling the needs, producing opportunities in many kinds of ways.
Opportunity. That's probably a powerful word, opportunity. Imperial County Fire Department gave me the opportunity right out of high school to start my career. And I'm very thankful for that. If it wasn't for the department being developed in 1963, I would not have had that opportunity, just like none of us would. So continuing that opportunity for other people throughout this valley is enormous. We're able to pay that opportunity forward to others and fill those same I guess you could call it dreams, aspirations, but let's continue to pay that opportunity forward and make it available. I think we got awesome things going within this agency and outside this agency that we're involved in.
So what is that algorithm? What is the key ingredient that we have seen in this journey from the day that it started?
You know, you always hear the term lead by example, but when you see motivation occurring, even when you're not there and you walk in and you see something, you know, something motivating, you know, the captain's motivating their personnel, that's huge. And that's why the growth keeps occurring. It's nothing that I'm doing specifically. It was a vision that started in 1963, which is why we're here tonight celebrating the 50th anniversary. But that motivation started. And the way I look at my role in this is to make sure it continues. It cannot stop. And whoever comes in after me, I will tell them, do not let the motivation stop. Just continue with these guys. Continue moving forward. Continue the possible expansion. When do you stop? You don't. You never stop. We've had some great success stories to move forward with. We have expanded. It's nothing that I've done by myself. It's been a huge group effort, and the group has really taken the horse by the reins and kind of gone in the same direction. And that's what's positive, is when you get people going in the same direction, and we have that movement, and we need to continue it.